There are over 11 million people with a limiting long-term illness, impairment or disability. 6% of children are disabled. Over a quarter of disabled people say they do not have choice or control over their daily lives. Despite this, they continue to persevere and lead happy lives in a world that just isn't built to accommodate them.
I'm 16. Yeah, I have a bilateral sensorineural hearing loss. That means that sometimes it's hard for me to hear higher pitched noises in both my ears, so it's harder for me to hear people. I do wear hearing aids. I have other assistive technology, so it's easier for me to understand people, which allows me to get better grades in schools and leads to less communication breakdowns.
I'm 18 years old. My condition is called polycythemia vera, and it is a blood condition where the bone marrow produces too much blood. Because I was diagnosed when I was 14, and this condition is never usually found in young people, teenagers. It's usually with people over 60. This was a massive reality shift in reality for us, and you have to adapt. You have to try and be positive. You have to try and keep a positive outlook on your life.
As a result, I've changed what I want to do as a career when I'm older. It's not something to joke about because people joke about like having hearing loss and not being able to hear people. When really it can be a lot more in depth than what people know or what they seem to care about.
If we're going back to the beginning, it was, and terms of like school and stuff, it was quite tough, especially when I went back to school because I was diagnosed over the summer, and I spent a week in hospital, and I was took back and forward to hospital every couple of days, and that was fine. It was fine. It was in the summer, and then obviously when you go back to school and it was year 10, it was GCSE. It sort of all hit. It's sometimes hard, when you're taking when things don't go your way. I've had 4 mini strokes. I've had 2 since my diagnosis. I had 2 before, and then the two I've had were both, the one was actually in school, and I that's hard to try and process in this environment where this shouldn't happen, and you just got to try and cope with it.
It just leads to a lot of minor things that build up into one big problem. Listen to what teachers are telling you and try to follow their advice. And if it's okay if you don't have a lot of friends, it's just a good one. Does not matter.
This is one in, I don't know, 10,000, 100,000, of getting this condition, and you've been dealt a really, really shit hand. But you've just got to make the most of it. You've just got to make the most of it and try and carry on as normal, because that's the only thing you can do. If you try and sit there and mope about it and crumble, it's not going to be a good quality of life. You can still live a very good life with this condition, so you've just got to try and make the most of it.
There are so many people struggling every day just to live normal lives. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are so many celebrities with these kinds of issues. Beethoven was deaf, Albert Einstein was autistic, we all know Stephen Hawking. Look at the Paralympics, all of those amazing athletes are disabled. These are all examples of how in the right environment anyone can thrive. We just need to give them the tools to make that happen.